Right now, the market is getting wrecked. Every single day you see all these things on the news where you're talking about this is like the worst stock market, da da da. Terrible days since back in COVID, since the 1929 crash. The market is getting wrecked, but I'm still profiting. So in this video, I'm going to tell you guys how I'm still profiting while the market is crashing. Because even when the market's crashing, I still made 5K in a day. The strategy that I use to trade, it doesn't matter what the market is doing. The market could be crashing, it could be going up. The strategy still works. Let's begin. Now, I'll give you a quick overview of the trade I took today. So you can see the stock was going up and up and up and up and up. Eventually, I found that there was some support at this level. And then when the stock reached that level, I entered right over here. Stock went up and I sold right over here. That's a very quick overview of the trade. I'll explain how I did it, how you can find these trades and make money too. So this is the whole trade review. If you guys are in my community, you have access to this. Every single time I make a trade, I make a trade review where I go through the exact trade, tell you how much I made, why I entered, why I exited. All of my trade reviews can be found in the community. So the first thing we need to talk about is the stocks that I'm trading. Now, I'm not trading all the stocks that are going down. I'm not trading Apple or Nvidia or AMD or Nike or all of these stocks that are going down. It would make no sense to do that. The stocks that I'm trading are called gappers. Gappers, these stocks happen every single day. And what these stocks are is exactly this. So you can see, this is the daily chart. One day the stock closed at this price level and the next day it opened at this price level. Why is there like a big gap in the chart? Multiple reasons. The main reason most of the time is because the stock came out with some sort of news, some sort of positive news. They maybe had a big deal, maybe they announced earnings and the stock went crazy. Something happened overnight that caused the price to go from here and open the next day over here. The reason we trade these stocks is because A, they happen every single day, and 2, they're very volatile. And because they're volatile, we can make a lot of money every single day. So first, let's talk about why a market crash just doesn't matter for the strategy. On the left, you can see the S&P 500. You can see that it's dying. Every single day, it's just going down, 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 down. Whereas gappers, you can see that on a day-to-day basis, there's always gappers. No matter what happens, there's always gappers. And you can see, even though the stock was going stagnant, one day, boom, it gapped up, and then boom, it made this big move. So it doesn't matter what the broader market is doing because companies are always going to announce news. They're always going to have some sort of earnings or FDA approvals or something which is going to cause the stock price to go up. And if you can capitalize on that, you can make money even in a market crash. Now we'll go over the basics of gap trading. Right? Let's go over some basics. The first thing that's very important is we want to trade volatile stocks. I talked about this before. We're not going to be trading Apple or Nvidia. These types of stocks, usually they only go up like 1%, maybe 2% in a day. We're not going to make any money with 2%. If you have $100 and it goes up 2%, you've made $2. Not too good. With gappers, these stocks go up 100% in a day. If you have $100 and let's say you don't make 100%, let's say you make like 20%. If you have $100, you make 20. All right, well, that's 10 times more than I could have made with Apple. So that's the first thing. The next thing is we want quick moves. The problem with people who trade stuff like Forex and cryptocurrency is that they end up staring at the screen, at these charts for like days and days and hours, just waiting to find the good move so that they can enter. We don't want to be staring at the screen for 10 hours a day. We want quick moves so that we can be done really quick. We want the stock to open up, we want to buy it, 5, 10, 15 minutes max later, we want to sell, make our money, and move on with our day. And that's the third point. We want to be done trading early. We do not want to be staring at the screen for 5 hours. We just want to trade, 15 minutes, make your money, boom, continue with your day. This is the advantage of gap trading. Now there's 5 keys to success. And yes, all of these things do work in a market crash. So let's begin with step number 1. Step number 1 is to find a stock screener. What this does is, it looks through every single stock in the stock market, all of the 10,000, 15,000, however many stocks there are. And it sorts them with however you want to sort them. So let's say you want to find the stocks with the highest revenue. You can sort it with a stock screener. In this case, we want to find the stocks with the highest gap percentage. So we're going to be using a stock screener. So this is what the stock screener looked like today. You can see that this is this ticker. You can see all of the tickers that are gapping up. You can see the price. You can see the gap percentage. This is the most important thing. If you can find a screener where you can have the gap percentage and you can have the ticker, you're good to go. You don't need all this extra stuff. I mean, yes, it helps to have the volume and this and that, the other, but as long as you have the gap percentage and you have the ticker, you're good to go. Step number 2 is to create a watch list. So if you look at all of these stocks, we're not going to be trading all of these stocks. We're going to be only trading one. So how many stocks are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of these 7 stocks, we need to filter each of them. We need to go through each of them, analyze each of the stocks, figure out which ones we like, which ones we don't like, and the ones that we don't like, filter them out. The ones that we like, we're going to create a watch list. And then we're only going to trade one stock from that watch list. The watch list can be 2 or 3 stocks, it doesn't really matter. The less the watch list, obviously the better. And this is exactly how you do it. For example, on the left you can see one of the gappers today, the stock price literally looked like this. In the pre-market you can see that it went up, down, there's barely any volume. We can tell that this is going to be a loser. There's no volume, there's no price action. We know that when the market opens, it's going to go down. You know that for a fact. Whereas this one, the one that I traded today, you can see that there's a lot of volume. A shit ton of volume. And you can see that it's making consistent higher highs and higher lows. This we can tell with a high degree of certainty. This might actually be a winner. And the next thing we need to do is we need to find some support levels, which I've identified with this blue line right over here. So we have our 1, maybe 2 stocks that we watch listed, and we have our support levels. The next step obviously is to buy. Now you want to wait for the market to open. When the market opens, you want to wait for support, and you want to only enter when the stock confirms support. So this blue line that we made over here, you don't want to buy as soon as the market opens. You want to wait until it touches the blue line or gets close to the blue line and volume starts coming in. This means that the stock is confirming support. People are buying at support, indicating that it's pretty bullish. That is when you want to get in. Not immediately when the market opens or when it's going up and you're chasing it. You don't want to do that. You want to only enter when it's confirmed support. That's when you want to enter. This over here is where I bought today. So you can see I've identified the blue line. I've waited for the market to open, and as it went down, that's when I entered. I didn't enter as soon as market opened because I was nervous and I was scared. I didn't want to miss out. I waited for it to go down to my level. That's exactly where I bought. This is what you need to do. This is the picture perfect trade. Now, the next thing you want to do is obviously you want to sell. Now there's 3 main reasons that I sell, and it's the same every single day. I don't change these. The first reason I'd sell is because of VWAP resistance. So if we go back to the chart, you can see that the stock is above VWAP, which means I can't sell at VWAP resistance because the stock is above VWAP. The second reason would be the pre-market high. So you can see right over here, this line is the highest point that the stock went pre-market. This would be called the pre-market high. So ideally, the stock would go from here, it would go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Eventually it would reach the pre-market high, the same level here, and then I would sell. That's the second option. And the third option is the $0.5 whole dollar resistance. So you can see over here, stock's currently $8.17. The next major resistance point would be like $9, then it'd be like $10 and $11, etc. So these are the main reasons that I would sell. I wouldn't sell because, I'm panicking. Most of the time, sometimes you can sell if you're panicking. But most of the time you should sell based on these 3 points. And this is exactly where I sold. So you can see the stock went up and kept going up again and again and again. It made this high, and then as it was going back down, that's where I sold. And I sold near $9. So that can be counted as a $0.5 whole dollar resistance selling. That's the whole trade. That's literally it. And this took me like 10 to 15 minutes, and I was done with the day. That's how easy it is. And this was while the market was crashing. Everybody was panicking. Everybody's panic selling all their stocks. All these stocks were going down. I made some money. And you can do this too. This isn't something that, I'm not a genius. You can do this too. Now step number 5, and nobody does this. Nobody does this. And this is why I think most people aren't successful. Step number 5 is to repeat. You want to do this every single day. That's the first thing. And the second thing is you need to analyze every single trade. Even people in my community, they say how important it is to analyze your trade. I don't say it just to say it. Like, it is extremely beneficial. Like if you're just randomly trading, like buying when you want, selling when you want, whatever you want, you're not making any progress. And then people email me asking, hey bro, why isn't my account growing? It's stagnant, bro. It's because you're not analyzing anything. You're just buying whenever you want, selling whenever you want, your account's going sideways. You need to analyze every trade. Every trade should be like a big deal. You need to analyze it. Okay, honestly, why did I buy? Honestly, why did I sell? Okay, I sold because I was panicking, or I bought because I was too scared to miss out. Let me try to work on that. That's an issue for me. Let me try to only buy when it hits the support and when it finds support. Not when it's going up and I'm scared, I don't want to miss out. You need to analyze every single trade. This is extremely important. This will not work if you don't analyze your trades. Every single trade you make, ask yourself honestly why I entered, why I exited, if I made money, if I didn't make money, and try to just improve trade after trade after trade. Now I'll show you some proof that this works for me and a bunch of others. So if you guys already don't know, this is my community, the Drako room. In here you can see people are making wins like almost every single day. This person made $77, $163, $116, $556, $2,316. This guy made $298. Oliver made $817. Nick made $1,400. Every day people are making a crap ton of wins, like literally every single day. It's crazy. So we have a couple of things inside the community which we'll find. You'll find a free course inside which explains the exact strategy in much more depth. Everything you need to know if you're a complete beginner, that course is in there for free. You have an FAQ section which goes through all of the questions that I got asked, and all the answers are going to be in there. We also have a watch list section. This is probably the best thing I can offer. Every single day, I literally tell you guys which stocks I'm looking at. I literally tell you guys, look, this day I said there was no trade day. Nothing was interesting. Nothing was interesting on the gap scanner. I said I'm not going to be trading. This day I said, okay, this is the only stock that's going to be interesting. I might be trading this one. Here I said I might trade this one or this one. Here I said this one, this one, this one. I literally tell you guys every single day all the stocks that I'm going to be trading. Every single day I tell you guys the exact stocks. Also, when you join the community, you also get access to trade reviews. This is crazy. Every single day when I trade, whenever I make a trade, whether it's a win, it's a loss, maybe I don't trade that day, I make a video going through that specific day. So this day, I didn't end up trading. I made a video on all of the gap scanner, what stocks that were gapping, what stocks weren't gapping, blah, blah, blah. I go through everything. And every time I make a trade, look, this one over here, I made $3,000. I explain my exact entry, my exact exit. I explain everything in depth. This is super useful. Same thing over here. This day I made $6,000. I explain my exact entry, my exact exit, why I traded it, just everything. And every single day, every time I do this, I have all these trade reviews all lined up. So it's extremely useful. Now, if you do want to join the community, click the first link in the description now to join for free. You can join the community for free for 7 days. And I'm closing the group soon to just focus on the members inside. I don't want to open it for too long. I don't want too many people in there. So if you do want to get in, you have to join quick because I'm going to be closing the group soon. So go click the link in the description to join now for free. If you guys want to watch a video where I explain 0 to 100K, the easiest day trading strategy you'll ever learn, click the video that just popped up. It goes to the strategy in a little more detail. It shows you another trade. It's a pretty good video. Go check that out. And as always, guys, subscribe, like, comment, share, everything. Click all the buttons. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.